So we're here at Don's today, and Don's a fish keeping friend of mine who we met. Don had a ton of Java moss, and I've come and picked up a bunch of Java moss that he was just throwing out on his lawn. But we found out today, well, I found out a couple of weeks ago, that Don has a ton of amazing stuff at his house, and he's really focused on, you're focused on a lot of the aquascaping side of things.
Yeah, it is. But when you're aquascaping, you get a lot of leftovers, and these leftovers tend to migrate into all these kind of secondary projects.
Yeah.
So what we have down here is when we first moved into this house, this was basically a box of gravel. And sadly, we had a pair of cats. So you have some cats inside, and they look at a box of gravel and they go, "Woohoo, indoor toilet, that's great." So I was looking for some kind of non-aggressive way of dealing with this. And eventually I decided it would be kind of cool to have an indoor pond. So this is nothing more than a submerged Bunnings tub. It's 330, 340 litres capacity, I think. It has a very simple substrate, which is gravel. And it exists at the bottom of a large staircase. So it's like an atrium area. You can see it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And this pond's been going now for probably more than 10 years. And I've been surprised what you can actually grow in it.
Yeah.
You can see here there's a whole bunch of cryptocorynes in there,
Those ones there.
Yeah.
They're everywhere actually, like up
there's some Anubias in there as well.
So is that Anubias there?
Yeah.
What type of Anubias is that one?
Oh, you're going to tell me that? I'm going to say
sorry.
Barbarai, and someone's going to argue with me because they're probably...
Yeah.
It's Anubias.
We'll find out in the comments.
Anubias, it's the plastic plant that grows.
Yes.
What else is in there? There is some leaves.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what those are.
They're off a tree.
Okay.
And all I noticed with these particular leaves is they're loaded with tannins. So
Yeah.
You throw a few of these in the pond and the water goes nice and tea-coloured. And after I'd done this a few times, I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I chucked in some neon tetras?
Yes.
Let's have neons in an indoor pond. And so I did. And sure enough, when you throw in leaves and you do a water change from time to time, the neons spawn their heads off. But the young never seem to survive. So you come down every morning and see these neons having a really good time, and you look eagerly for young to poke their noses out.
Yeah, so they're breeding in here, but you just don't see any fry.
Yeah. So I ended up breeding them outside in a Bunnings tub, and there are actually neon fry in here from the Bunnings tub. But
do you have that tub to show us? Or?
I do.
Oh, that's awesome. Right, cool.
Let me track some food and see if I can track some juvenile out. Okay, guys. Morning tea.
So how often do you feed these guys? Just daily?
Yeah, just daily. This isn't a high maintenance thing. Oh, there's some praecox in there as well. So
Oh yeah, there we go. Bit of action now.
Yeah. There's the praecox. There's an adult neon. That's not. There's a juvenile. That's one of my fry.
Oh, yep.
But they're kind of almost the size of the adults now, anyway. So they're getting hard to tell.
Yeah, they're big, plump females.
Yeah, this is not a serious industrial breeding operation.
This is heated?
It's heated in a safety net heater, so there is a heater in there, but it's cranked down really low to minimum setting, so I think it's about 18 degrees C.
Okay, so it's not too bad.
Just to stop them from freezing to death. To be honest,
exactly.
The fish get a little subdued this time of year.
Yeah, they're not as active.
Cold down here, so normally it'd be like a scene from Jaws when you throw fish food in here.
Yeah.
This is relatively subdued, but still, they're out there doing their thing.
In summer, do you have any issues with like the humidity or anything like that? Does this create any humidity, or is it generally pretty good?
This house has the thermal characteristics of a barn. So
Okay.
it's as humid inside as it is outside. It's about as warm inside as outside.
Yeah.
It's as cold as outside.
Yeah. So having an indoor pond, I've never seen someone with an actual indoor pond. So I was just asking the question, just the questions I have.
It's caused no real problems apart from the cat did splash down into it once.
Yep.
And we're not quite sure how that happened. We think she likes to walk on the stair banisters.
Maybe trying to get a neon Tetra snack.
No, I reckon it was considerably higher altitude than that because the sound it made was quite dramatic and happened in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It sounded almost exactly like, and I've never tried this, but if you can imagine chucking a bag of potatoes into a swimming pool.
I'm not going to try it either, but...
Leave out of bed and run downstairs, and halfway down the staircase you meet this enraged cat dripping with duckweed.
She wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, the fish were okay with it. I mean, they
they
just
wouldn't
would have
mind.
preferred she'd stayed there a while and they would have got some protein. But
Yeah.
has it happened?
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I really enjoyed when I first came here having a look at this pond. I've just never seen someone with something
right in the middle of the house as you walk in.
I just think it's so cool to watch neons.
Yeah.
Not in a tank environment.
From the top,
Yeah.
it's something that's different.
Yeah, it is. It's different, and there is, and this is the wrong time of year because we're just past the winter solstice. But at the very top of the staircase, there is actually a sunlight up there.
Right up the top?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you get just about to
see
the
it.
summer solstice, you actually get a splash of sunlight directly down into the pond.
Oh, so you get all the light through the water?
Yeah, I think it was because the house was designed by an architect. I think the architect was being clever. And,
Yep,
so
as architects are, yeah.
That's right, it was the whole thing. And suddenly at the right time of year, you get this great shaft of sunlight.
It's all coming through here.
Yeah, and the neons just go bananas when that happens. And it's hilarious just to watch them.
Yeah, they would be, hey.
And it's incredibly low maintenance. So the water change regime for this tank is basically when I change water from my big display tank upstairs, I siphon the water into this.
Well,
So it gets secondhand tank water.
you wouldn't probably even need to at all, like with the plants and just the low density of fish.
Possibly not.
Yeah, but this is a really cool tank. You should have some shrimp or something like that, but they'd probably just overpopulate it, hey.
There possibly are shrimp in there. So
Okay.
there are local glass shrimp that came out of the big pond,
Yep.
which are almost certainly in here, but they're incredibly difficult to see.
Yeah.
There's prey pox in here as well.
They'd probably eat some of them.
Well, this is the first pond, and there's a bunch of other really cool stuff in your house. So should we go
Yep.
upstairs?
Let's go upstairs. All right. Okay, what do you want to do next? Want to do this?
Yeah, should we do the big tank?
All right.
So the first time Don turned on the lights for this tank, I was just blown away.
Okay.
I think everyone else is going to be too. So
This has got an exotic LED light that's meant to go through a graceful sunrise cycle. So it doesn't just turn on, it eases into the day gently.
right,
We're not doing that now. It's going to be like that bit off the Truman Show when suddenly it's midday. So
yeah,
we'll see if the fish actually freak out.
they probably won't. Holy mackerel!
Morning, guys.
This is, I can't tell you how big these rainbow fish are. They're honestly, like, there's my hand up against the glass. I don't want to touch the glass, but they're as big as my hand. Like, how old are these again? Are these little baby ones? Oh, these are prey
I fished
cocks.
some prey cocks out of the pond. Yeah, I just pulled some prey cocks fry out.
Right.
And I chucked in this 4 of them, and I still have 4 of them. I thought that they might end up as sushi, but actually they're growing out. They're starting to lift their game a bit in terms of growth.
So you've got the huge Bosemanies and huge
Because
turquoise.
they don't touch them.
Sorry?
They don't touch the fry.
No, yeah, they're very peaceful, it seems.
They are. It's like even when you feed them and they get a bit excited, it's like one of them will get near a fry and it's suddenly like it clues in and says, oh, hang on, don't eat the kids. And
Right.
it turns away at the 11th hour.
So, oh, you've also got some stir-bys up the back.
Yes,
Some cheeky stir-bys.
that's right. Of the 6 stir-by that I bought, I only have 13 left.
Right. So, how old are these rainbow fish?
You're going to ask me that? I have a feeling these are possibly 2012, something like that.
Oh, okay, right.
So they're probably more coming up to a decade. Obviously,
They're 10 years old nearly.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I can't believe you've kept them alive that long. Like, it takes someone who really cares to keep a fish alive that long. Like, I
I
mean,
honestly think the planted tank helps because the plants do an astonishingly good job of uptake.
yes. Yeah, I can
Things that
imagine.
Fish would particularly like to breathe.
Exactly. I mean, those are so big.
So
It's
there's
just-
obviously there's
yeah.
there's the lacrustres here as well, the turquoise rainbows.
Yes.
And just I guess a little bit like me, I've noticed they're getting a little bit crusty and grey around the edges.
No.
as they age.
Yeah. They're very, very
It's
beautiful
just
fish. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do about it? These are the most beautiful fish. And I mean, anyone who knows rainbow fish is going to realise the amount of work that it takes to get fish this big and this beautiful.
They will spawn in this tank and nowhere else.
Yep.
I tried because once they got to several years old, I thought it'd be a shame to see the end of the lineage.
For sure.
And I only have one female, as you can see, because a lot of resellers only sell males.
Yep.
So I remember I had to beg this guy to find me a female. He didn't want to charge me any money for it.
Okay.
Anyway, so I got one female.
Yep.
And look, they'll spawn in the tank. But to be honest, every time I've tried to spawn them somewhere else, they've just sat in the corner and sulked.
You know, they must be pretty happy as well, like, because you've got no lid on the tank and they haven't jumped.
This is my first open top tank, and I was a bit concerned about that. They've never jumped before, The previous tank I had was the same size, but it was old and the glass was a bit scratched. And it was the old green iron glass. This is obviously the low iron, high visibility glass.
Sure.
This was basically a present to myself. And of course it was open top design. And I thought, oh, I don't know how that's going to go. I thought, oh, they've never jumped before. So to change the tank over, because originally there was a 4x2x2 here,
yep.
I netted them all out and I put them in a wheelie bin full of water. And these things obviously didn't like the wheelie bin. These things jumped like I've never seen. We had to actually not only close the bin lid, we had to put a weight on it.
Oh, so they couldn't bust through.
It was so big that
yeah.
I was pushing the lid up.
Man.
And I thought, this is bad. And to be honest though, they haven't jumped at all. Every morning after I set this tank up, I came down expecting to find crispy dry fish.
Yep.
And to date, touch wood, it hasn't occurred.
Well, I'm really happy that it hasn't. So, plants in this tank. First of all, you've got like a dosing.
I do. I'm lazy.
Okay.
So that's a liquidoser.
Yep.
And what that's got inside at the moment is just a common commercial plant nutrient, Leaf Plus, but they've also got some chelate chemicals, some chelate micronutrients.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of dry chelate mixed in there as well. And that is dosing, I think, at the moment about 6 ml a day.
Right.
Obviously we've got a long light, so we've got the high intensity LED here,
yes.
which obviously not for this video, but normally has an incredibly graceful sunrise and sunset mode.
Yep.
Also turns into a moonlight phase overnight. So it lights
really?
up. Yeah, we get a nice blue light.
That's so cool. Come down for a glass of water in the middle of the night, you see the moonlight tank.
And watch the fish in the moonlight, it's kind of cool.
That's really cool.
So
you need some nocturnal fish in here. I guess the cories could
the
be.
The cories actually do. You see, the cories are doing the usual cory thing. They're hiding up the back where the sandy bits are.
Yes.
I will feed the rainbows in the evening, and often the cories will come out after dark and clean up after the rainbows.
Yep.
So you've got a lot of light, you've got a lot of nutrient. There's also CO2.
Okay, yeah, you've shown me that, yeah.
Yeah. So down in here, there's actually a CO2 tank.
Yep.
You can see. And there's a pH controller. Yeah, it hasn't switched on yet.
So there's a pH controller control how much CO2 goes into the tank?
Yeah. So the idea is if you know what the carbonate hardness of water is,
yes,
and you know what the pH is, you can approximate how much CO2 is in the water column.
Sure. I mean, I'm an idiot, so I just go off what I can see normally.
It's for idiots, Abel, so
yeah.
It's designed for idiots.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm not a chemist.
I'm way out of my depth with all the high-tech stuff. I need to really educate myself on it before I try and talk like I know anything about it. But
so in terms of the
it looks beautiful. It looks really amazing. It's probably the best aquarium I've ever seen. Freshwater.
There are better aquariums on the internet. So if you go out onto the internet, you will find implausibly good-looking aquariums. But what I will say in defense, I can't actually agree. But this is really cool. What I'll say in defense of this tank is that this is not staged. So this is what this tank looks like every day of the week.
Yep.
Now, a lot of the aquascaping contests that you see, and kudos to these people, they do incredible things, but they are very, very staged. So you've got things like people hanging hair dryers off the ceiling, so the water ripples in the approved fashion. You've even got one guy, and I watched a video about him, and he actually trained his fish to school and all point the same way.
Okay.
And I'm like,
oh man,
okay, that's just a bit out there. The other thing about aquascapers, and any aquascaper will tell you this, is that these fish are really out of kilter for this particular aquascape.
Okay.
That's not some hideous disease. I hit this guy barramundi yesterday. And
oh, okay, right. Yeah. I was wondering what that was, but
barramundi.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what you feed them? You feed them barra?
I feed them a bit of everything. It's a very varied diet, and to be honest, I was sitting down at dinner last night, and I was having a piece of grilled barramundi, and these fish were like laying it on me because they can see us, and they're up in the tank going, "Come on, Don, come on."
Yeah, give me a piece of barra.
And I thought, you know what, you guys, you can have some barra. So I gave them some barra, and they just went. It was jaws.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So plants, you've got. Is this what's it called? Monte Carlo?
Yeah, this is MC.
Yep.
And we've got that growing outside too, which you'll see later.
Yeah, you can see it's coming down the sides of the rock.
That's the great thing about
Dragonstone or something?
Dragonstone. No, that is a rock from under my house.
Really?
That's another rock from under my house.
It's like Brisbane tuff.
That is Brisbane. They call it rotten rock. And it's basically a light shale. But it's perfectly inert in water.
Yeah.
It doesn't dissolve.
And then crypts, plenty of crypts. I'm a big fan of crypts.
Yep.
Is that Wendi's?
Yes.
And then
and you've got some microsporum up there as well, which is Winterlove.
Yep.
These are Parviflora rosette swords.
yes,
And
red lotus.
Yes, red lotus tiger lily.
That's so cool. I don't really see that much in a lot of people's aquascapes. I personally don't.
You've got to be a bit brutal with pruning. Really,
Okay.
these guys really want to reach for this guy.
Yep.
And the moment the leaves throw to the top, they will cover the entire tank. Everything else
Okay.
dies, and you have a lily pond.
Okay, right. So you make sure they don't do that.
Yeah, you pinch the leaves off pretty
Is this
regularly.
Rotala up the back?
It is. It's a little bit leggy and light starved, as you can see.
Yeah.
And not as red as it should be because it's right up the back.
And what about these ones? What are these again?
This is Storgina repens.
Okay.
It's a low growing plant, so this thing, that's about as high as it ever gets. Once it gets there, it goes out sideways.
Okay, cool.
And I actually bought, and I've only had this plant for about 4 or 5 months, would you believe?
Okay.
I bought 2 tissue cultures.
I sell those, so yeah. Wow. That's really cool.
This stuff grows.
The best thing about the tissue cultures is I know you've got snails in there, and snails don't bother me
Yes,
either.
got snails.
But the tissue cultures, you don't get snails.
Yeah.
So that's a little bonus.
I
And I feel
could-
like you get more plant, you get more like little runners to spread out than if you buy a bunch.
They work really effectively.
Yeah.
I was a bit. I think the thing about tissue cultures is I wonder how many people realise what they are when they see them in the shop. Because I didn't twig straight away what it was.
Yeah, sure.
I saw the Latin name and recognised it and thought, oh, it's Storgina repens. It's
Yeah,
cool.
because it doesn't look like the actual plant. Yeah.
But it appears to be a bucket of fish food.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people just pass it by because they don't understand what it is they're looking at.
I'm a heavy endorser of them now. I've used them a little bit, but they're very, very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is your, how big is this tank as well? Just for everyone.
450 litres, so it's 4 by 2 by 2,
Yep.
which is not the ideal.
No, normally a bit
ratio.
thinner, but you
Yeah.
can tell it adds a lot of depth if you make it wider.
Kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm obviously not changing it now. The tank is in its current setup. I actually rebuilt this tank back in March because I actually changed the aquarium. The fauna and flora is the same. I just changed the glass boxes.
Cool.
And that was because I came into a very generous gift from a bunch of co-workers, and I invested that gift
In a beautiful
expensive
tank.
tank.
All right, cool. Well, you've also got a plant factory outside, which I think a lot of people want to see.
Sure.
It's a self-proclaimed plant factory. It's just a bunch of stuff that you've thrown in there, right?
It's basically a big box of water with stuff in it.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's go have a look at it.
Right. This is a piece of yard we didn't know what to do with, so I put in a raised pond. It's about 5,000 litres, and it contains stuff.
So in this pond, you've got, I mean, we've just collected out a ton of Java moss for me to take back to the fish room, which I'm really thankful for.
Yes, and you can see
I mean, all of these buckets are full of it. Yeah, and
You're going to zoom in on that.
yeah.
There is a ludicrous quantity of Java food.
So this is all Don's accident. He added some Java moss.
Yeah, and it kind of went bananas. Java moss is not the only thing that's in here. So when you run a planted tank and you grow plants, you get these leftovers. And eventually all your friends get sick of you giving them plants. So you start throwing them in the pond, and it's surprising in southeast Queensland what will actually grow.
Yes.
And there is quite a... Treading very carefully because it's quite wet, like it fall over, which would be a great YouTube on.
That would not be good.
It's winter, it's freezing cold, it's horrible, so everything's dormant at the moment. Oh look, there's some ambulia sitting in there.
You can get that on the website. Plenty of that. That's so good for grow out tanks.
This is having a sulk at the moment. It's having a sleep because it's winter, but you can see there's just 1 or 2 with... This is actually a tiger lotus lily. And you have to trust me that this thing will go bananas, and if you come back here in October or November, there will be immersed leaves and flowers off this thing.
Okay. I'll have to come check it out.
Oh, there's some microsporum down there. You can see.
Is that the Java
it's
fern?
The Winterlove.
I can go underwater actually.
Oh, cool.
Oh, look at that.
Hey.
Let's see what the audio does with that, but
Oh, there's a fishy there.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The species that are in here are...
That's the crested.
Yeah,
I
there
think
it
this
is.
is working, the audio. I hope it is. I hope it's not like weirded out.
You just remember the main display tank. You remember that there was this great big MC carpet in there?
Yes.
MC is a cold water plant, people. It does not need to grow in a heated fish tank.
Man.
This is all MC.
Don's selling it for $100 if anyone's interested.
I sent a ton of this down to my brother who lives in Melbourne, who also has a planted tank, and how tough it is.
Yeah.
Australia Post managed to lose the parcel not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Really?
So the box of MC ended up taking 8 days to get down to
Oh, it
Melbourne.
would have been fine, yeah.
It was okay. Like, it wasn't great. It was obviously not.
No, I probably would have appreciated getting there quicker, but...
Yeah, it survived. These are Osiris sword pups.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's winter, so everything looks crappy.
Yeah.
Actually, here's another good shot. Look at this. That's wild blue stricter. There you go. That's what the stuff looks like when it's growing immersed,
Right.
as opposed to immersed
Yes.
in a wild scenario. And that actually flowers. You can see there's an immersed one over there, and you get little blue flowers off it.
That's so cool. So this has accidentally turned into a massive farm for Don's plants.
Massive plant farm. I also use it to, I'm using it to season wood here at the moment too. This is for a friend's tank.
Yes.
Just because it's 5,000 litres and the solution to pollution is dilution. So
Yep.
you can just throw a tree in here and it's not the end of the world.
No.
People ask me what kind of filtration there is. There is not. There is a lot of plants. There is a small solar powered pump to provide some surface agitation on the water, which is not working today because there is no solar activity.
Yeah, it's a
happening.
little bit gloomy today.
And the pond itself, the main species that are in here, there used to be Pacific blue eyes. I haven't found any for ages, and I'm a bit sad about that.
You should try and get some honey blue eyes.
Yes, that would be good.
That'd be
What I
cool.
was really after, what I really wanted to put in here was Tiwa Creek rads.
Ah.
Do you think I could find them?
No.
No.
Yeah.
I was really strung out to get some Tiwa Creek rads. Anyway, so I put in some blue eyes, and that was fine. The blue eyes were not holding their own against the mosquito larvae, and obviously we're not going to put goldfish in the pond. We don't do that.
No.
So
It's a
I ended
friend.
up putting, oh look, there's a paradise fish. There he is. Oh, he's gone.
No, it's not a paradise fish. Yeah.
No, he's not there anymore. I ended up putting paradise fish in there, and I thought I only bought males. It wasn't true.
And you got,
There's hundreds of paradise fish in here. And the strange thing is I thought they would all drift back to some kind of neutral, boring colour morph.
Yeah.
But no, they're
they're
really
all,
colourful.
yeah.
And I actually fished out a few and gave them to a friend to put in his tank, and they look really good. But being paradise fish, they're just a bit arsey.
Cool.
There's fry in here too. Could be
Paradise fish there.
Yeah, by the look of that is a paradise fish. And I don't know if the paradise fish predated upon my blue eye.
Oh, probably not. They're probably too quick, the blue eyes.
But the other mystery I've got, and anyone who can suggest how this happened, answers on a postcard, please. There are swordtails in here.
Yeah.
I did not put swordtails in the pond. And when I first saw them, I absolutely freaked because I thought they were gambusia.
Yes.
And I thought,
It's a
I've got
noxious fish,
species in
yeah.
the pond. Oh my god. And finally I managed to net a couple at night, and thankfully, I never thought I'd be thankful to say they were swordtails, but they were just swordtails. There's wood in here. There's also, again, all the leaves are dead. There's a juvenile.
There's a, yeah.
Yeah, juvenile paradise fish there. Just hanging around to see what's happening. Oh, there's another juvenile, and there's an
The
adult.
whole family.
There you go, there's a whole bunch of them. So loads and loads of paradise fish. And there is also in here Physidens moss, but not very much of it. Very,
That's-
very slow growing. I bought some Physidens moss because I've never had it before. And I put it in the tank and it promptly disappeared. And I put the rest of it in the pond where it didn't.
Right.
So moral of the story, grow Physidens in a pond.
Well, I really thank you for letting us have a look at what you got going on at your place. I
That's
mean, there's
right.
some amazing stuff. That Bosemani tank just blew me away. Well, Bosemani / turquoise tank. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have another crack at breeding those just to try and defend the lineage, although those fish are so
I reckon you
old.
should. Yeah.
No, do fish have menopause? Is that a thing?
No, I don't think so. Or maybe, probably is. I don't know that kind of stuff. I'm an idiot, like I keep saying. So, thank you so much, Don. I really appreciated it, and thank you
Right.
everyone for watching the video. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Enjoy the Java moss, people. Came from a good place.
Exactly. Yeah, Don's Java Moss is available on the website, so if you want to go check it out, it's there. But thank you so much.